Sure. Let me. That was a great football game. One of the things that I told these guys when we were in the locker room before the game was that I wanted to make sure they left everything out on the field today. And as a coach, I couldn't be more proud of the effort that these guys gave, of the leadership that these guys showed to our group, and the way we competed today. Obviously, we came up just a little bit short, but it wasn't because we weren't trying, it wasn't because we weren't fighting, and it wasn't because we didn't give everything that we had. This is a special group of kids that we've got, particularly these guys who are up here right now. They've really set the tone for our entire program. Out of a possible 60 football games that they could have played in their high school career, they were in 59. So 3 state championships and 1 state semifinal. They absolutely gave everything they had to Madison high school football, so I couldn't be more proud of them.
Questions?
I'll just start with the defense, especially holding Oscar Smith to 7 points until the last 2 minutes, and that one score was a short field as well. Just what did you see from them, especially the defensive line in the third and fourth quarter? Just what did you see from them?
Well, I think we made it really tough on those guys because we put them in some bad spots when we turned the ball over a little bit. But like they've done all year long, they rose to the occasion. I never am surprised anymore of the things that the defense accomplishes. This group just fights for each other. They play as hard as they can, led by these 2 guys here. Obviously that's a really high-powered team, and we knew that they were going to make some plays, and I think that we held them in check about as good as we could have hoped. And their guys made some plays there at the end of the game, but it wasn't because we weren't trying and we weren't finding the ball and doing the stuff that we do. We just put our defense in too many tough spots by turning the ball over and giving them a short field. We needed to make them have to drive all game long. And to their credit, they made the plays at the end of the game when they needed to make the plays.
You talked about just a couple of first-half turnovers, and just with everything that went against you guys in the first half, just what was the message at halftime, only being down 7-0 and coming out and scoring in the first half?
Yeah, well, I think the defense really did a great job of keeping us in the football game. Like I said, we put them in some tough spots. But the message to our guys was, nobody said it was going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. We knew it was going to be tough. We knew it would be a battle. We showed a lot of resiliency, not giving up there and kind of feeling sorry for ourselves when we made some mistakes. So, everybody rallied around it, everybody. We had a next play mentality. We talked about it all week, that they were going to make some plays. We needed to make sure we got to the next play and stayed locked in. I thought we did a great job of that all game long. Obviously there were some times when things started going sideways that we could have gotten off the rails, and these guys really kept us heading in the right direction. And we just kept competing. But our defense has been fantastic all year, and it's just a great group of guys that play for each other, they play hard, and I'm not surprised by the way they played today.
Coach, on that 91-yard drive that sort of, I think it tied the game.
Right.
You were putting pressure on Andrews quite a bit, but it didn't seem like you could get to him on that drive.
Yeah. Well, I thought we had really good pressure, like you said. He made some nice escapes, kind of escaped up through the pocket. We were trying to keep him in there. Obviously, you got to dedicate some guys to covering those guys that they got going out there. So, we're putting a little bit of a bind. But our guys were rushing hard. He just made some plays, and he got the ball into some playmakers' hands who also made some plays there. It's just a good drive. You got to tip your hat sometimes. I mean, we were playing good defense, and they just made some plays on that drive.
Can you talk about that last drive that you guys had, and sort of, that was, I think you had 22 seconds, 23 seconds.
Well, I think that kind of encapsulates our team in a nutshell. A lot of teams would have just said, great season, good job, but not us. We kept fighting. We picked up some yards there on the first play, and we were kind of debating, and these guys said, give me a shot, let me throw it to the end zone. And so Kale did a great job of buying us some time. We worked around in that pocket for a little bit, kind of gave our receivers a chance, get Dom a chance to kind of sneak behind those guys. I think that, when you got a scramble situation like that, the defender kind of loses track of where the receivers are, and Kale made a heck of a play to throw the ball down there. Dom's there to make a play like he's done all year long. And again, I'm not surprised by the fact that we were able to do that. Like I said, this is a type of group that just is not going to give up if there's any time left on the clock.
Kale, can you talk about that throw and sort of, it looked like you were in trouble a couple of times. Can you just walk us through that play on that last touchdown?
Yeah, anytime you're in the state championship and it's your senior year, I feel like some guys got to step up and make plays. And, you never want to go out in the last play getting sacked or something bad happening. So, really just putting it all out on the line. That's kind of my play style a little bit. But, O-lineman making some good blocks as I'm running around there, get by one guy and just throw it up to Dom, and he made a play. But, it's kind of just something that happens in state championships, I feel like. You see some crazy things happen. It's just one of those moments, but we couldn't end up finishing it off.
For each of you, just the performance you guys had today, to just be in that game and get to that point where you have a chance to win it, and just what really stood out about this team, like Justin kind of said, it seemed like this performance just kind of encapsulated what you guys have been about all year. But just obviously it's hard with the result right now, obviously, but just what will you remember about this team and this game playing with each other?
Yeah, I think every one of our guys absolutely love each other, and me and Dom have been playing with each other for a while, since 8th grade. And I just think that, we have the chemistry and we absolutely love each other, and the community behind us backs that, and that kind of just shows exactly who we are. Play some backyard football whenever we want to, whenever our back's against the wall, and, we just played together for so long. We absolutely love each other, and that's just kind of how we get it done.
Yeah, I'll never forget, like Coach Count said earlier, we, only missed like one game out of 4 seasons. I'll never forget that. Just being able to play football is the coolest. Like, our offensive coordinator before every game says football is the greatest sport in the whole world, and I truly believe that. And I'll never forget being able to just play every snap we possibly could, and fighting to the last second of every single game.
Yeah, Dom, Jack, you guys can.
Yeah, me and all the boys, we love each other. We come out here, practice, we have fun. We came out here, had fun. Football is just, it's a hard sport, and sometimes with practice, we don't really want to come out and do it every day. But we love each other. We have a lot of motivation, and we believe in each other. So we just come out here and we just believe in each other, and we just get it done. But we came out short today, but that doesn't hide the fact that I love Madison football. I love the community, and I still love the boys. And that's gonna live on forever.
Yeah, we really just play for each other. We all believe in each other. We all love each other. It's just in our community, everything just puts us so close that we can just play our hearts out.
Hey, Coach, can you talk about the decision to go for 2? Were you always planning to go for 2, or did you change your mind?
Well, no, I can't say that we were always planning to go for 2. Our kicker got hurt on the first extra point that he missed. He pulled his hamstring, so we had a backup kicker in there. And when we got that penalty there, I thought that it might be a little bit out of his range. And frankly, I said, you know what? I'm going to put the ball into our 2 best players' hands, and we're going to take a shot at it. And if we make the play, we make the play. And if we don't, I can live with that for the rest of my life. So that's what we did. We called, or maybe they called a timeout. There was a timeout there. So we talked about it for a minute, and these guys said, give us a shot. And so that's absolutely what we did. So when I lay my head on the pillow tonight, I'm not going to have any second guesses about that. I'm going to give these guys a chance to win the football game, and that's what they did. They took that chance.
Yeah, you had one-on-one coverage, I think. It was pretty tight, though. Can you talk about what you saw on that last 2-point conversion?
Yeah, it's kind of exactly what you want. We wanted Dom to have a chance. You said tight coverage. It's physical. It's pushing and grabbing, and it's just kind of how the end of football games work. They really only have one option. They know that we got to go to the end zone on a 2-point, and we had the shot, we had the chance, we took it, and we just couldn't quite get it. But I think the decision was right, and the execution was there. It's just sometimes it doesn't fall your way.
Justin, not to make you talk about Dom right in front of him, but he finished with 256 yards and 3 scores today. I know he's really been a leader on offense all year. Just what has this year meant to him, and what has he just meant to this team this year to get to this point?
Yeah, well, I think I could talk about Dominic as a player for hours and hours. Obviously, he's just a super talent. He's a kid that anytime we needed a play made this year, we leaned on Kalen Dom to make those plays, and they made them repeatedly over and over and over. But what I can say as a coach, and what makes me most proud of Dom is, he was talented when he walked into Madison High School. I can't take credit for any of that. But what I hope he leaves here with is the understanding that he's become a leader. He's matured. He's taken care of his business in the classroom. He's been a guy in school that younger guys can look up to. He showed our younger guys how to practice and how to perform, and just his overall maturation as a young man. I feel very comfortable with him leaving and going to college, that he's going to be very successful moving forward because he's put himself in a position to be successful. Like I said, his talent just oozes out of him, so I wish I could take credit for that. And a lot of times when he makes plays like they made on that last one, we're going to say that's great coaching. But the reality is these guys just make plays. But Dom as a person and the way he's grown is really the thing that I'm most proud of.
You guys good?
I had just one last
Sure,
thing.
absolutely.
You mentioned obviously it's a senior heavy group, and just what is the message going to be to this group and the locker room after a game like this, and just the season they've had together? Just what is kind of the message?
Yeah, well, obviously right now there's a lot of guys hurting in the locker
Yeah.
room, and so the message there is just going to be how proud I am of them and what they gave me all year long. I think for the young guys in the room, I think that this needs to burn a little bit. I mean, this is as close as you can get and not win. And our school's never won a state championship, and these guys have done everything in their power to try to get that done for us. And I think the message to the young guys is, we got to grab that torch and we got to keep moving forward, and we got to keep pounding on that door until we knock it down. And like I said, this group kind of embodied that. They did everything that we absolutely asked them to do to try to get that done for us. And I told these guys, the work that we put in, everything that these guys have given to us. We started, our season started August 5th, but these guys were working pretty much from the end of last year till now, for this moment, for this point. And it's just a lesson that you got to learn in life, that sometimes even though you do everything the right way and you do everything you're supposed to do, it doesn't always break the way you want it to. And the way you respond to that, the way you come back, and the way you rebound is going to go a long way to how successful you're going to be in life. And I know these guys, whether we had won this game or not, this is not going to be the biggest thing that they accomplish in their life. This is just something that I think they're going to have fond memories of when they get a chance to look back, and the burn and the hurt kind of goes away, and they're sitting around the BNN with each other talking about this. In 20 years, it's going to be really fond memories of this group and everything that we accomplished. So I'm going to tell these guys how proud I am. I'm going to tell them all to hold their heads up when they walk out of that locker room, and they did Vienna proud.
Thanks, guys.